Hey guys, if you've ever sat down to plan a lesson and thought, how am I supposed to reach all these different learners at once? You're not alone. Fast finishers, students who need support, visual learners, movers, and the list goes on. Designing one lesson for all of them can be really tough, but that's where ChatGPT can make things a whole lot easier. Not by replacing you, but by helping us brainstorm faster. Today, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to generate targeted lesson ideas for diverse learners in just minutes. No complicated prompting or jargon, just practical examples you can use right away. Stick around to the end and I'll show you how to grab my free AI-powered lesson brainstorming guide as well. All right, let's jump in. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and we're going to put a prompt in for ChatGPT here that we can start working with. In this case, the prompt is create an outline for a 20-minute lesson on biology for 5th grade students. Important thing here, just give it a time frame that you're teaching for, subject and your audience, and let it start doing the work. So it's already put together a lot of good information for us. It's given us a hook, a mini lesson, some guided practice, some group activities and things, all in a few seconds here, right? So let's go ahead and play with some different ways that you can prompt ChatGPT in a very simple way, right? I mean, let's just talk to ChatGPT. And I've got a few different prompts here that we'll put in, and these come off my ultimate AI quick guide that you can get at the end of the video here. But we're going to just put in here and say, okay, let's ask it some questions about our learners. As we think through our learners, we can ask ChatGPT to tailor it to the specific type of learners that we have. So in this case, let's go ahead and use this prompt here. How can I adapt this lesson for mixed reading levels? Just hit go, and it will think for just a second, and it's going to give us some ideas on how to adjust this for different reading levels, right? So we have visual heavy supports, we have tiered text options, and the list continues, right? And so it gives us instantly a lot of really great ideas on how to help reach our learners more effectively. All right, so that's first. You can ask ChatGPT about your learners. Let's look next at teaching approaches, right? Let's have ChatGPT help us with some teaching approaches here. And so I'll just grab this prompt here and I'll get rid of the bullet point. Not that it matters too much, but give me 5 hands-on or experiential learning ideas for this topic. Awesome, let's go. See what GPT gives us. So here are 5 hands-on experiential learning ideas, perfect for 5th graders studying plant and animal adaptations. Cool. And so it gives us some ideas, including the concept, the materials, the activities, the goals, that we can then read through and say, is this going to help my students learn better? Or does, that one not really work? Maybe the next one works. And again, that's how you can very, very quickly use ChatGPT to continue this brainstorming process. I mean, think about how much time that saves you not having to come up with these 5 types of ideas on your own, right? Again, always the rule is with ChatGPT is check your outputs and then you're the expert. Let this brainstorm quickly for you, but use your expertise, use your knowledge of your classroom to really pick an activity that you can adjust or use that's going to reach your students the best. Okay, so the third thing we're going to ask GPT about here is how to differentiate this lesson for maybe different levels of learners. Because in any classroom we enter, we're going to have different levels of learners. So GPT can accelerate our ability to reach those learners simply by asking it a prompt like this. Help me differentiate this lesson at 3 difficulty levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Hit go, and then we'll review the output here. All right, so it says, okay, here's some ideas for beginner level, maybe developing readers, ELs, students needing more support, etc. It says, okay, and here's some ideas for intermediate level and then some advanced level reading capability. And you'll notice also that ChatGPT has memory. So it remembers the prompts that we've given it before. And so we ask it about reading levels before. And so now it's going to say, okay, let me help you brainstorm ideas for reading and different levels of reading. So it's going to help weave all those concepts together. All right, the fourth area that I like to ask about is engagement levels, right? How do I get my students hooked? How do I get them engaged, right? And so let's go ahead and give this prompt in here where we ask it, give me 3 strong hooks or openers for this topic. All right, so it thinks for half a second and it says, okay, here's some ideas. And now we have a whole list of ideas that we can then read through and say, hey, is this going to reach my students or not? Okay. All right, a couple more ideas here. Let's talk about accessibility and inclusion. Very important. Make sure that all students in our classrooms are able to learn and feel good learning. So maybe we use a prompt like this. What accessibility considerations should I remember for visuals and activities? And so ChatGPT will come up with some brainstorm ideas here on helping us create a more accessible classroom for our students. Okay. And then, of course, the last prompt or the area that we can work with here or that we can ask GPT about is our classroom realities. Sometimes we only have limited amounts of time to teach. So you could say, how can I teach this if I have maybe 20 minutes is all? Or what if I don't have all the supplies that I need? What can I do with limited supplies? Or maybe I've got maybe a small class, a large class, something like that. But let's go ahead and talk about supplies here. It says, all right, this is kind of a fun prompt here. How can I modify this lesson for limited supplies or technology? All right, let's see what GPT has to say about this. It says, okay, so maybe use paper-based substitutes instead of physical materials, replace slides or video with simple sketches, convert activities into quick paper sorts. And again, we have a few other ideas at the bottom here as well. Right. So I want you to think about how much time would you have spent to come up with all of those types of ideas, as opposed to the last couple of minutes here that we've been working through and brainstorming with ChatGPT. All right, so there's lots of ways that you can interact with ChatGPT. I've got a great list that I'll share with you at the end of the video. And then also use ChatGPT as your personal assistant. Ask it questions, challenge it, and then that's part of how you just get comfortable using ChatGPT and how you get to much greater results quicker so that you can do the work that you really are in the classroom to do, and that is to touch the lives of your learners. There you have it. That's how you use ChatGPT to supercharge your lesson planning. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video where I'm going to show you how to use structured prompting to talk to ChatGPT like an absolute pro. And since you stayed to the end, I've got a free gift for you, my ultimate AI-powered lesson idea checklist. It's got 30 ready-to-use prompts so you can turn ChatGPT into your personal brainstorming assistant. Just click the link in the description to go grab it. See you in the next video.